Hey everybody, it's Chris Marshall of the Payne Street Team, brought to you by Payne Auto Group Valleywide and PayneAutoGroup.com, where we have what you want, lo que tú quieras regardless. And it's time for another edition of Payne Auto Talk. This week on Payne Auto Talk, we are halfway to 100. That's right. This is the big episode 50. And a repeat, we have Mr. John Barraza, our head honcho of our General Motors side of the house with Payne Weslaco Buick-GMC and Payne Weslaco Chevrolet. He's going to let us in on some things going on over there. A new building, oh yeah, and also a new product that is wild. And also, he's got some tips and tricks for us coming up here for summer vacay. And also, we got a musical tribute to some Red Dirt music. So, here we go. And here we are on episode number 50 of Payne Auto Talk. And returning to Payne Auto Talk is the man, the myth, the legend. When it comes down to General Motors over here at Payne Auto Group at the Payne Auto Mall is Mr. John Barraza. How are you doing, sir?
Chris, we're doing well today. So glad to see you here. It's been a while.
Yes, we're here on a Friday, and it's just nonstop action. Never a dull moment at the GM side of the house.
It seems like it's a hot moment these days.
I know. We're getting in the summer months. We're going to talk about in a second. But, of course, there is something new here at Payne Auto Mall, and that is, of course, Payne Weslaco Chevrolet has had their service center since the new Chevy store has been here. But now GMC has their new store, or their new, not new store, but their new service center. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we had a new building that really has helped us out because it added another 10 bays, and we've been selling quite a few vehicles. In order to keep up with the demand in parts and service, we needed to increase the size or our capacity of our service department. And in doing so, we built a new building, added 10 bays, added some additional office space, some additional storage space for parts. And it's been a win-win. I mean, it's definitely been a win for us and been a win for our customers because we can provide better service and be a lot more efficient.
Awesome. I did have a chance to walk through before everything got installed, and I saw the parts bays back there, and it looks like the bowels of a ship. I mean, it's like y'all have a lot of room back there for parts, so it's going to be really awesome. And, of course, in summer months here, the service center has been blowing and going, and now people can come in and get their AC done before the summer road trips and all that kind of jazz.
Oh, yeah, you definitely don't want to be broken down or not have your AC working. I had a fuse blow out a couple days ago in my truck, and that 20-minute drive from home to work, even at 8 o'clock in the morning, was a scorcher.
Oh, man, just and a simple fuse, just something that simple.
Simple fuse. Yep. Simple fuse, but yeah, got it handled, got it fixed, but that was a tough 20 minutes. I had to bring an extra shirt with me because I sweated right through it.
And that was just you. So, yeah, folks, imagine being with the family and all of a sudden you're rolling down the road and you're just getting up there north of Edinburgh past the checkpoint or, north of 77. Or if you're going out to Zapata County, wow, man.
Yeah, and that was at 8:30 in the morning, so I could only imagine how it is to come 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
God. I tell you, well, we got it going. And, of course, PayneAutoGroup.com. You can go to Payne Weslaco Buick-GMC, and you can go in there and schedule your service right there through the website, right?
Oh, yeah. Do everything. We have people on the phone that are ready to set your appointment, get you in and out as quickly as possible. And like I said, with the new capacity we have with extra technicians, extra space, it works even faster.
And also an automated wash to sit there and give the exterior a little once-over, huh?
Yeah, especially here with all this dust.
Yeah.
Seems like when we do get a rain, it's just enough to get your car dirty.
Yeah. Get the ground nice and it packs it down for a little bit, and then the wind comes up, and we're living in a blow dryer or a sandblaster, I should say.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So also don't forget if you're we have Payne Collision and get your repaint done. That's one thing we can do.
Yeah. Well, that's a bad situation to be in, but if it does happen to you, like also happened to me here recently. Well, actually, not me. I'm 51 years of age and never had an accident, but my son, being 18. Just had his first accident. Oh. Those guys down in FAR did a really good job and helped us out.
Awesome. That's right, Payne Collision and FAR. And how's your boy? He doing good?
He's good. Yeah. He's a little hurt, but it has nothing to do with the vehicle. He's just
it's
without
pride.
It's his pride. He's without a vehicle for his senior year.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad he's okay, man.
Yeah.
Well, now he can pitch in for gas with his buddies.
Pretty much so. Yeah.
That's right. Now, speaking of pitching in for gas, it's also pitching in for electrons because the new GMC Hummer EV is here. It is here and has been here. Tell me about that new GMC Hummer. I've seen it, haven't taken a test drive, but I heard it's a wondrous machine.
Well, I don't know if I can say this on air, but Car and Driver, the way that they explain that vehicle, said it's one badass vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
So when Car and Driver can say that, it's got to be bad. It's got to be badass, is the way I see it, because I've seen this thing online. I've seen it in pictures. I've seen it on email. But when this thing first came out, I was excited to go see it because I'd seen so much about it, and I was amazed by the capacity of this thing doing over 300 miles as far as distance on a charge. But then when I saw how it can handle as far as what it can do four-wheel drive-wise, what it can tow, and more importantly, what this thing does in 0 to 60 and 60 to 0, meaning how fast it take off and how fast it can go. I mean, this thing competes with a Corvette, and this thing's doing right at 3.4 seconds, 0 to 60.
Wow!
And this thing weighs 9,000 pounds.
Wow!
Yeah, so this thing is moving, and then you hit those brakes, and it stops on a dime. It's just amazing the technology that this thing has, and how well equipped it is to handle fast takeoffs or off-road conditions. It's just an overall great vehicle, and let's face it, it looks impressive. This thing going down the street, I drove one of the first ones that we had here that we got as a demo, and I drove it for one day. God, you would not believe how many people almost broke their necks trying to look at this thing. It's impressive. I cut myself looking at it. Still to this day, I see one driving down the road, I almost break my neck looking at those things because they're impressive. They're impressive, and those things get on the lot. They don't last. They go quickly. I mean, we got people that are calling from all over the country just waiting for those things to come in. They're good looking, and as far as being able to drive those things to go over 314, 381 miles, depending on how you drive, it definitely works for us.
And that's a full-size vehicle. That's not like a small EV. This is something big.
No, we're talking, remember, 9,000 pounds.
9,000 pounds.
We got F-250s that weigh 9,000 pounds.
I know. And, I drove a Hummer back in the Army for about a year, an original, Army-type Hummer. The kind that Arnold drove,
yeah.
and
the
now,
chopper.
Yeah, get to the chopper, and doing a lot of off-road stuff out in the desert. That truck, I call it a truck because it had a tailgate, but my truck, it barely ever saw asphalt except for the motor pool and then to get to the off-road stuff. And I was impressed with it back then. So if this thing can sit there and hold up to that and even more with the acceleration and the braking, and also it does that crab walking thing, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting deal. I don't do a lot of rock climbing where I'd be using something like that, but I did do it the other day at HEB, and it definitely turned some heads, doing that. It was and it feels interesting because as you're driving, your vehicle's facing forward. As you're facing forward, you're moving to the right or you're moving to the left. So it kind of gives you an interesting feeling as you're doing it.
That parallax spatial disorientation. And also, the rear wheels articulate to turn, right? It tightens the turning radius.
Correct. Yeah. So your rear wheels turn, which obviously make it a little bit easier to turn, or obviously turning in a little tighter spaces. Not to mention, it's also easier on your tires, so your tires don't wear out as quickly.
Now that's awesome too. And of course, and I know the EVs have their own special type of tire. So does this just use a regular old all-terrain like any other 3/4 ton or 1 ton truck?
That's a great question. From a standpoint of product knowledge, I probably am not your best product knowledge person when talking about tires, but I've seen those up close and far, and they look like your standard regular tires that you'd find on a big old SUV or a big old full-size truck. Like
a Bridgestone Dueler or a Goodyear Wrangler or Toyo, just a regular Toyo all-terrain. Yeah, so that's cool. I know, like I said, because I know the smaller EVs and hybrids, they have special tires to maximize their range. Like we have the Volkswagen ID4, and that squeezes out just at about 300 miles of range on there, and if 9,000 pounds can sit there and do 3,000, or 9,000 pounds can do 300 miles, that's saying something about their battery technology. And like I tell people, I think the battery technology is just going to get better over time. But for those on the go, most people, they charge at home. They do an overnight thing with their 110 volt outlet, but at home, through both Weslaco Chevrolet and Buick-GMC, y'all can install the 240 volt charger there at their house. GM. I know it's available. So
no, it's true. You've got different chargers that you can install at the actual house, depending on how quickly and how fast you're trying to get your vehicle charged. Mm-hmm. So you have the regular 110 that obviously could take you up to 18 hours. Again, I'm going off of memory as far as what it takes to get a full charge. Mm-hmm. But they've got chargers now they can install in your household, and you can have that thing. In a full charge in, I think, 2 hours.
Wow.
So in and out quickly as possible. So just depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's like your washer running on 110 and your dryer running on 220 because you're both spinning and heating. So the more electricity, the more juice you get. And also, can people charge here at Payne Auto Group?
You kind of lost me on the 210, 220. When you say something like that, I think about Mr. Mom,
Oh, I got you, yeah.
210, 220, whatever it takes.
Yeah, 220 is, 110 times 2 because the washer does a washing and the dryer has to spin and heat, and it's that heating element where the extra voltage comes from.
Okay.
So that's why I say the big 240 chargers, like you said, those things sit there and they zap it out in 2 hours. But here at Payne, we have those big chargers.
Yeah, we have a big charger here that you can get a pretty decent charge. I think gets you up to 85% in a matter of an hour. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I call it a supercharger.
All right, and we have those here, and
yeah, so we have those here, and most of your GM stores will have those set up as well, where you can pay with a card or pay with an app. That you can go and get those done. It's amazing that. When these chargers first came out, we just thought, we're not going to have the infrastructure for it. How long is it going to take? But it's here. It's happening quickly, and it's every day. You're finding more and more charging stations happen. A lot of our hotels locally have them. There's charging stations at some shopping centers. There's charging stations at condos. There's places on the island that have charging stations. I know there's in my hometown is Alice, and there's a big charging station there in front of the courthouse. A lot of people stop and will call me from Alice and ask me where's a good place to go eat because they're charging their vehicle. So these things are popping up everywhere.
Yeah, so somebody goes and let's say they have their brown bag lunch, Joe Lunchbox, Joe and Jane Lunchbox, and they do their thing. But let's say they're running low on charge and they need to come here to Payne. They can come here within that lunch hour and just get a bump charge, and like an hourly rate can be prorated. Yeah,
so you can do an hourly or prorated charge, and there's an app that you can do to get it charged.
Awesome.
So, like I said, it's something that is evolving, and it's evolving quickly and fast. And like I said, there's a lot of, especially your major chain type hotels, they've also now installed chargers there. So that way, they've got an EV station where you've got special parking for EV vehicles. There's shopping centers, like I said. I had lunch yesterday at a shopping center in Harlingen. I think there must have been about 10 to 12 charging stations there. So go do your shopping, go eat your lunch, and charge your vehicle at the same time.
Wow. How convenient. And I believe from what I heard from Austin, is that every major franchise in Payne Auto Group, we're going to have that capability going on.
Yeah, so that's something that is evolving, and obviously we got new stores that are being built, and a big part of that construction is, where's our EV charging station going to be, and we're building around that. It's interesting now with the way vehicles are being built. That's almost one of the first things we got to talk about. We got to talk about where your EV charging station is going to be, so that way we can get the voltage and everything set up to them, so that way we can build around that.
Awesome. Now, for those through the app also, I believe they can look and see where the charging stations are when they go on vacation. And of course, like I tell people and I remind people before you go on vacation especially a driving vacation, to get your vehicle serviced. So you got some great specials and rebates and incentives, or I always say rebates and incentives. That's me cutting a commercial in my brain. But y'all have the service specials going on for the summer for cooling and heating and all that kind of jazz.
No, it's definitely a big deal. Just like you should be having your home AC checked before the summer, you should be doing the exact same thing for your vehicle. There's a lot of things that happen during the warmer months. Your AC works a lot harder than what it's used to working, and because of that, you've got to make sure that it's up to par.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure your Freon's up to par, your filter's up to par. Make sure your connections, because sometimes you've got a small leak, you don't even know it. But that's why we highly recommend coming and getting it checked out, because unfortunately, when these things break down, it seems like they break down at the most inopportune times.
Yeah, and when you want to enjoy a vacation, you can't. And also rubber components, like your hoses and your belts to keep your engine running and cool, and your windshield wipers. People sometimes, you see your windshield wipers, but you don't think about your belts and hoses. And everything now is a serpentine belt. It used to be umpteen kind of belts underneath there. But yeah, to get that checked out too. What else brakes? There you go, folks. If you need a brake job, imagine driving out of town and all of a sudden, you're in unfamiliar territory and you got to brake hard, or there's somebody not paying attention in la lanes. You got to make sure that you stop on a dime. Not everything.
I wouldn't be worried so much about brakes. It's, brakes is obviously a big deal, but with his heat, it's tires. Oh, that's the first. Yeah, the four things that actually touch the road. Yeah, no, that your tires get eaten up so quick. It was a big deal for my dad. My dad didn't like driving in the middle of the day because he thought he could get his tires to last longer if we drove at night. So all of our summer vacations, whenever we went out of town, we always drove at night. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was my dad. Any way to save money. So. He thought, he can get 100,000 miles out of a tire. Maybe we did, and maybe a big reason was that because we always drove at night. I got 85,000 out of the first set off the street team vehicle. Yeah, no joke, man. Nexen Rhodians, I think, was what they are. So that's strong. Yeah, shout out to them, man. Those things are awesome. And if you're going to be driving at night, your lights, got to make sure the lights work. Yeah, I got to make sure lights work. That's definitely a good thing. And now, lights stay on all the time, obviously, with, your DRL. So with daytime running lights, your lights go out a lot sooner than normal because, again, you're running them 24/7. So when people come in here and you have a multi-point inspection, they're going to be looking at tires, fluids, but also the battery. That's like the main thing we have a problem with. And what was it last summer? It was a hot one last summer, and vehicles were having a problem with batteries. Yeah, so last summer was a super hot summer. So, and I know people always, know that when there's a big temperature change, there's always issues that happen with your vehicle. Number one, tires. Obviously, when it gets cold, you have all that air inside your tire that constricts, and obviously that's why these people come in. They say that their tires are low. Well, they are a little low just because, again, the air is constricted. And we also have a lot of people whose battery, if your battery is kind of right there in the medium where kind of good, kind of bad, a good cold spell, a good freeze, overnight can knock it down. Well, the same thing happens in the heat. Hit 100-degree weather, you got a weak battery. And we have customers constantly that come in that right when it hits 100 degrees, they're coming in, their battery is dead. It gets so hot sometimes those batteries leak out fluid. Sometimes it gets so hot the batteries will even crack a little bit and it starts leaking fluid. So yeah, definitely get those batteries checked for sure. Awesome. And we can do all that here with the new GMC Service Center at the Payne Auto Mall. Come see Mr. Barraza and crew. What are your summer plans? Working? My summer plans are working and staying cool. I've got a kid that finished high school this year, so that's a busy time with us finishing high school and kind of getting prepped for college. So I think my summer is going to be getting him moved. Oh, really? That's about it. Oh, man. That'll keep us busy. No joke. You going to do any hunting, fishing, anything? I'm going to try to stay cool. So if I go fishing, I may be in the water. I hear that, man. It's like, do you need waders? Nope, I'm getting right in it. Yes. Right in it. Yeah, cool. Up to my neck in it. Cool. Well, I hope everything's going well here, and it appears it is because it's pretty jumping. And, of course, summertime, fun cars, and you got the new Vet, I know, the C8 Vet. Vets are a lot of fun. Actually, we've got our first E-Ray Vet that's supposed to be getting here, so I'm excited to see that thing. That's the electric Vet? Yeah, it should be here in about 30 days. So that thing's going to be... Really? Yeah. Like I said, there's all these new vehicles that are coming out. There's so many new things. I mean, we got a new Chevy Traverse that just came out that is amazing looking. And really? Like a redesign? Redesign. That thing just hit. And I think we got our first 3 in last week. Uh-huh. Those things lasted all of 3 minutes. Oh, my God. I know that Traverse, Acadia, and Enclave are the same platform. And I remember years ago driving a base model Enclave because, hey, man, Buick, yeah, the luxury on it is awesome. And I was so impressed. And now it's a redesign. So I'm like, oh, it is nice. Can't wait to see it. You got a Buick Enclave, the Buick Envision, all been redone. The Acadia has been redone. Beautiful, beautiful vehicles. Like I said, mentioned Traverse. They had the new Traverse with the lift, the Trail Boss. They have the GMC on the Acadia side with the AT4. Rugged-looking vehicles. So there's a lot of things, definitely a lot of things happening there. And we got a new Chevy Tahoe and Yukon coming out next year. Oh, really? So there's a lot of new things happening. There's a lot of new things in the future. And not to mention, like I said, we got that Chevy Corvette E-Ray. And we have a 01 coming out.
01?
01 Corvette. Yeah, that's the next one coming out. So a lot of new things happening.
Oh, man, I'm going to be doing my homework now.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, hey, before we go, what's been playing on your playlist? What you been listening to?
What do I listen to my playlist? You know, I've been listening to a lot of for whatever reason I got hooked on a little CCR lately. So I've been listening to a lot of CCR for whatever reason.
Old school Creedence Clearwater Revival. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You know, I started listening. I guess there's a concert actually out tonight, and so I keep hearing commercials about it. So it's kind of been big on my playlist.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I know there's a musical portion I can crank that out. What CCR song would you like to hear?
You know what? Actually, why don't we go new school CCR, a little Cross Canadian Ragweed?
Yeah.
How about 17?
17? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, shout out to Nathaniel Scott Garcia III, my cousin Nate, one of my old drummers. Oh, yeah, he's the one who, we used to play that back in the day in a band we were both in. So, yeah, we can do that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the new CCR. That's what got me when cousin Nate sat there and goes, hey, man, you listen to CCR? I was like, oh, I love Creedence. He goes, not that. Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? And he says, it's a new band that uses CCR. And, of course, I'm like, blasphemy, but it was cool stuff, man. That's Red Dirt. Yeah. Cody Canada. That's who he is, Cody Canada.
Yeah, Cody Canada.
You got it, man. Well, we'll get some CCR going out right now. All righty, John Barraza. We don't own the rights to this song, but Mr. Cody Canada and the rest of Cross Canadian Ragweed sure does. Here we go. Sirens wailing a flashing light. Nothing better to do on a Tuesday night but give me hell. Where you headed? What are you out for? We don't see much of you around here anymore. I guess it's just as well. Once upon a time you had it all. You let everybody down. You're always 17 in your hometown. Running from your folks, running from the law. Running from love, running from your fears, running from it all. You keep on running, boy. Run yourself in the ground. You're always 17 in your hometown. Her porch swing still looks the same. She probably won't even remember my name, just like she didn't back then. Is she married? Is she doing fine? Does she know about the nights I lay awake crying just to hold her hand? The door opens and I run away, just like the same old clown. You're always 17 in your hometown. Running from your folks, running from the law. Running from love, running from your fears, running from it all. You keep on running, boy. You run yourself in the ground. You're always 17 in your hometown.
Well, nobody is gonna miss me. No tears will fall, no one's gonna weep when I hit that road. My boots are broken, my brain is sore from keeping up with their little world. I got a heavy load. Gonna leave them on just like before, a big city bound. You're always 17 in your hometown. Running from your folks, running from the law. Running from love, running from your fears, running from it all. You keep on running, boy. You run yourself in the ground. You're always 17. You're always 17. You're always 17 in your hometown.
And that brings us up to the end of episode 55-0. Wow, we are halfway to 100 here on Payne Auto Talk. In closing, I'm going to give the floor over to General Manager of Payne Weslaco Chevrolet and Payne Weslaco Buick-GMC, Mr. John Barraza. In closing, what do you got for the folks back home here?
Guys, please make sure you come see us out here at Payne Chevrolet Buick-GMC in Weslaco. We're here Monday through Saturday from 9 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. If you don't feel you're getting your service or anything you need, please make sure you ask for me personally, John Barraza. We're here to help.
Awesome. And don't forget the new GMC Service Center, which also the Chevy side of the house, they were kind of bogged down with both the houses there, and now they're freed up, so the service is really running smooth here. Make sure you do that. Get your vehicle checked out before you go on your summer trip. Make sure that your AC is blowing cold, your tires are doing good, and that you've got some Cross Canadian Ragweed playing on the radio, just like Mr. B and family. So on behalf of myself, Chris Marshall of the Payne Street Team, brought to you by Payne Auto Group Valleywide and PayneAutoGroup.com, this has been Payne Auto Talk. We'll be seeing y'all down the road when we are gone.